Today we are going to take some iPads apart, and with any luck we will make monitors out of them. These come from AliExpress. They're pretty affordable. It's just a little converter board. Takes mini HDMI as well as a USB-C in. Gives some on-screen menus here with this control, headphone out, some speakers. It's not much, but basically what it's doing is it's converting the video input to a signal that the LCD on these third or fourth generation iPads are capable of, the LCDs are capable of reading. So I'm gonna start. I should set my higher station here. Oof, I haven't run this in a while. Maybe I should have made sure I blew out the sawdust from when I was doing woodworking. This could be interesting. So both of these are A1458s, I believe. Yeah, it's just the white and the black variants. Anyway, getting these open is pretty straightforward. You just heat the adhesive and the digitizer should be able to come up. I don't know, it's a good temperature here. I've just got it set to about 180 degrees. So the way these are built, there's the top glass which has the digitizer, and the LCD is actually a completely separate module, so these are really simple to get into. It's just a matter of getting the top glass off. And since I'm not salvaging anything except for the LCD, I don't care about the top glass, I don't care about the home button, I ain't doing any kind of repair on this. I'm literally just pulling out the LCD. Alright, I am going to see if I can get any access here. Alright, that's progress. Oh yeah, I was gonna check if I had... Yeah, real prepared. I do have some. Okay, you're going right back in there, because you fit. Alright. Right, maybe we will apply a little more heat. So if I'm not mistaken, I think there's a digitizer ribbon cable that connects somewhere around here. If I were doing a repair, I would care. I'm not doing a repair, so I don't care, which makes this a whole lot simpler. The only thing that I am concerned about is getting that LCD out safely. Alright, this is what we want to see. Now that I have 2 in, I'll get rid of that. Last thing I need is something sharp around here to slip. Boy, that adhesive really sticks fast, so. I'm not sure if this top is glass or plastic. Guess I'm grabbing more heat. So this is just a cheap hot air rework station that I got off AliExpress. I think I paid like $54 for it back when it was new. Nothing terribly impressive. I think if I was gonna get like a proper good one, I'd probably go with the one that probably the one that Louis Rossmann recommends. I think it's, was it JBC? I think it's around $200. Come on. Anyway. So, you might be able to see in there. I think that's just plastic. The LCD is just literally a panel that is screwed down. So, pretty easy to get out once you have this. I'm gonna say this is plastic. There's no way this is glass. That flexes too much. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but oops. Okay, let's see. I think I'll work my way down from here now. Oh, okay, so it, well, the digitizer can crack, that's for sure. I do not want that gunk on the LCD. That would not be good, because then I get to clean the LCD of its gunk. I'd like to avoid that. Alright, so if I was doing a repair, I would have failed at this point, because as you can see, maybe, yeah, you can see that I've cracked the digitizer, but thankfully I don't care about the digitizer. Oh, that actually works really well. Just a little pressure and a little heat here. Alright, here we go. Oh, well that comes up easy. Huh. Alright. Gotta be very careful not to get crud on the LCD. Alright, so this would be scrap from where I work, and basically when stuff gets recycled, we wipe it, and then it goes into the big recycling pile. Now and then, if something is interesting, we'll claim it, and that's what I've done here. Alright, so take the screws off holding the LCD down. That flips up. Something flips up. There we go. Alright, and we have recovered it. Alright, so those can flip up. That can come loose. Alright, so this, that's what we're saving. I'm actually going to just set this aside for the moment. So, what do we got in here anyway? So this is the digitizer panel. And as you can see, it cracked. But yeah, it's just glued to the bottom of this panel here. I still don't know if this is just a really flexible, durable glass or a plastic, but we're setting this aside. As for this, not really anything per se that, you know, interests me part-wise, but well, let's see. Speakers there. Might as well take the speaker out. So, interestingly enough, a lot of model trains that have simulated sound, they use iPhone speakers. Okay, what is it? That's an antenna. But yeah, no joke. Is that screwed down or yeah? I suppose start taking out screws. I'll give Apple credit for one thing. I don't know how they managed to make iPhones and iPads cheaply, because wow, do they ever put in some convoluted assembly structures. Like, take a look here. It's not enough that there's, you know, screws here going straight down, which is normal. But let's get into here. Okay, so that's the front-facing camera. Does that unplug, or that's just part of that flat flex? No, take a look at the power button. The screws go in at an angle. As far as machine assembly goes, this is not simple. And I have to imagine with the quantities made, they are machine assembled. I cannot imagine they're not. But, like, this is an absurdly complex little bit of manufacturing. And it kind of blows me away that this is a mass-produced thing. I'm going far above and beyond what I intended to do, but I am ultimately going to take this back to work and recycle the rest of it. And by recycle the rest of it, I mean I want to make sure the lithium batteries are I'd like to separate them so that they can go into their yep, more angled screws. I'd like to put them in our proper recycling bin for those. Which I'm happy to say is now a metal container. I feel safer with it being a metal container. Let's see. Alright, everything is stuck down and I have no idea how any of this comes apart. That frame, oh, that's all the way around, I see. Again, I'm dumbfounded by how these things are ever economical to make. They're honestly kind of impressive. Why does that have a hook? What is even the purpose of this? What? I am so confused. The button is just a simple button. And yet, the back of the button has this little hook like this. The power button has a stabilizer? You gotta be kidding me. I'm shocked. The power button has a stabilizer. This is absurd. I can't believe this power button has more in common with a mechanical keyboard than... What in the world? Apple is something. Okay, I don't know for sure what that is, but it sure looks like a Hall effect sensor. It's also very stuck on. I mean, I've completely destroyed whatever it is trying to get that off. I mean, literally destroyed it. But whatever. I'm just trying to peel up this flat flex. Ah, so they do have sockets. I mean, I'm still absolutely destroying this thing. But this thing was... It was never going to be saved. So this is the rear-facing camera. Why is it stuck? Oh, it's just glued. Huh. And once again, unplug the small thing. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, more angled screws. Of course there's more angled screws. Why wouldn't there be? Angled screws through holes in other structures. Incredible. Wow. That's the front-facing camera. Or no, that's the rear-facing camera. This is the headphone jack. Remember when Apple had those? Oh, that's interesting. It's a permanent structure of this board. That's some electronics. Interesting. So if the earphone fails, you have to replace this entire module, at least on this particular model iPad. Interesting. Kind of dumb. There's the microphone. Suppose it makes sense to put the microphone by the front-facing camera. And that's destroyed. Alright. Alright, so that can flip up. That can pull out. So that's the home button. What am I missing here? Oh, hey. Just saw you in here. Welcome. Yeah, I was really shocked to see a stabilizer for a power button. I'm kind of dumbfounded by that. I mean, I suppose you could push the power button by one side and it's gonna go in perfectly straight, because, you know, why would you settle for anything less? I mean, Apple can settle for, no earphones anymore, but other than that. Wow. Okay, that just disintegrate. Oh, it pulls up. Well, I guess I did that the wrong way, and it's a good thing this is scrap, because I don't care. It's actually kind of shocking how small the motherboards in these things are, but really when you stop and think about it, it's almost shocking it's this big, because all it is an iPhone, and this is probably even less than an iPhone, because it probably doesn't even have the radio. That is shockingly heavy. Let's see, soldered or clipped? Clipped, looks like. Okay, so Toshiba, that's memory, probably flash. There's the CPU, the A6X. It's really kind of shocking to think that the descendant of this is basically what all the Macs are now based off of. Because the M1, M2, M3, and M4 are all just derivatives of this A-series processor. They just had the thought, what if we gave it some more juice and a fan? And let her rip. So yeah, this would be the flash storage. This would be the SoC. No idea what this Apple logo chip is. It's very small. But it's got an Apple logo. Oh my gosh, my bits settled down. Alright. Yeah, that's pretty much the guts of an iPad. I think this is a 4th gen. So the the third and the fourth gen both use the same LCD, which is 2048 by 1536, I believe it is. It's a very odd number. But the point is, it's a really nice LCD for an iPad that is completely and thoroughly obsolete. So there is actually kind of an aftermarket in repurposing these things as tiny monitors. And that's what I'm doing here. I don't know if you saw it before, but this is the module I got from AliExpress. That is really sticky. Can I peel this up? Throw away the sticky part? Yes. So this is a module that takes mini HDMI as well as like a USB-C or Thunderbolt, and converts it into the signal for the iPad LCD module, specifically this third and fourth gen one. The big difference between third gen and fourth gen, I believe, is that third gen was old enough that it still used the old 30-pin iPod connector, and I believe fourth gen uses the lightning connector, so it was kind of the introduction of that. So just some okay, this I think is RAM. If you look, it's right beneath the processor, so I believe that would be 2 RAM chips. This would be the storage, and who knows what the other stuff is. This here, these are like big inductors, so this would be kind of like the power supply, you know, charge circuits, VRMs, that sort of stuff. Oh, that's interesting. What is this? These are like pogo pads. Oh, that's the battery connector. Okay, that's an interest. You gotta pull the whole motherboard out to remove the battery. Whoa. Okay. I don't think I punctured the inner layer. Whoo. Alright. Thank God these are well and thoroughly glued in place. Oh boy. I really don't want to have to oh my goodness. That is so stuck in there. Okay, that came out. That's just alright, cool. is really stuck in there. Well, I don't care about breaking it, so I'm going to use excessive force. Wow, that is in there. Oh, wow. That's actually kind of impressive. The solder pads came completely off. Why? Oh. Remember the thing I said about Apple and their weirdly positioned screws? Well, I see these right now, so I'll just knock them out because I can. What on earth is this? I am... What? Are these magnets? They are. Oh, they have a pen this far back already? Huh. Interesting. I'm also realizing this tape. Nope. Okay, that's an interesting thing. I guess these have magnets. I'm guessing these were for either... Guessing there was either a keyboard accessory that would magnetically attach, or maybe a pen, but there's no... It's just round. I'm not sure what that was used for. Oh, interesting. So that's definitely the antenna. This is definitely the speaker connector. Alright, and I'm also now realizing the reason I couldn't pull a speaker out is because it actually goes all the way up to here. I don't know if you can see that. This is all part of the speaker chamber. That's kind of nuts. I suppose, though, Apple does put some effort into making their stuff at least sound good. I can't really fault them there. I bought my LG V40, and one of its claims to fame was having actual empty space inside the case just to make it possible to make the speaker sound better. Basically a better resonance chamber. And I think the V60 did similar, but not quite as intensely as the V40 did. And then I Let's see if we can get the battery to come loose. Looks like getting the battery loose is just about the only way to get the speaker loose. I kind of do want to see if I can salvage the speaker. I mean, it's not much, but I mean, generally, that's a $10 part if I'm equipping, you know, some model train with one. So we'll just see if we can get some of this out. I really was only going to take the LCDs out, but I don't know, I just felt like taking the whole thing apart for whatever reason. Seemed fun. It's quickly becoming less than fun. Suppose it'll end up being pretty interesting if I start a battery fire. I'm going to avoid that. I do have my fire extinguisher just in case. Okay, we got one. Half up. Seems to do the trick. I kind of want to see how they're connected here. If I can safely disconnect some of the cells here, then cool. Alright, so good enough for me. That's connections detached. I will tape over those so they don't short against anything. that will help to protect the cell from shorting. Like I said, I'm gonna transport this to our recycling at work where it can be safely disposed of. So it's not warm, so it's not punctured or shorting or anything like that, so that's good. Alright, so now that I see how the batteries are actually secured, it's a bit more straightforward to remove. Alright. Alright, and once again, a little electric tape just to protect those edges. We just want to protect this from shorting so it can be transported safely to recycling. I haven't decided if I'm going to take this much effort to take apart the other one. I mean, I suppose if I really, really want to get the speakers out, I could probably just take this endmost battery out and whoa. So, speaker. Get a feeling it has something to do with this tape. Oh, definitely. All right. Oh, we got 2 speakers. All right. So that is a speaker module. So I might salvage these for model train stuff. And that is one very empty iPad. Okay, that's kind of interesting. So that is just a really, really thin screen. All right. So literally just an incredibly thin speaker grill. This would probably look really interesting under a microscope. It's kind of nuts how small they make those holes. Oh yeah, that's right. The thing I couldn't get out. This can't be easy to assemble. I mean, just manufacturing wise. I don't know. They have to have some kind of machine that does this. I don't know how they can't. But yeah, this is what I was talking about with these really strange, like, overly complicated sideways screw mechanisms. There's still pieces here that aren't fully disassembled. I'm not going to worry about it though, because whatever. That is an iPad deconstructed. That's unimportant. Oh my goodness. Might hold on to these magnets. Okay. was kind of hoping I'd find a vibration motor in here, but it seems this predates the inclusion of that. So for perspective, Apple kind of very quickly moved to kind of a more linear device, similar to what the Switch Joy-Con uses. And it's an interesting source for those types of things. Alright, I am just going to do that. Ha. Alright, that's one down. I think I'm going to hold on to these screws. They're very tiny and I may not need them, but they sure don't take up much space, and you know, nothing wrong with having a little container of really oddball screws. Huh. Apparently, I've slightly magnetized this blade. Probably from them magnets. Oh yeah, that sticks. I'm guessing there must have been some sort of like keyboard accessory that must have clipped on there. I have seriously considered getting one of those little kind of electronics hot plates. I think it would make sense. I'm starting to do more and more things that require the hot air, and it makes things easier. I think this time around I will take things apart, but I won't be so meticulous. I mean, nothing wrong with that, but I also want to get to the next step here. This one is being much more cooperative. It's honestly kind of letting me brute force this. Which... Oh, okay, it's glass. Alright. Okay. That answers that question. then. Shoot. That flew too close to the sun there. Oh, this is definitely going to crack right here. There's a crack going all the way out to here. So I'm going to pre-tape that. Yeah, we definitely answered the question, is this plastic or glass? Yep, it's separated right where I expected it to. That's kind of unfortunate. Means I've got to basically pry up a new corner. Whoa. Yeah, it's not a happy, we are just going to apply heat, let it come up. All right. Of course, I touched the very middle of the LCD. So another thing I gotta be worried about is glass, because the LCD polarizer is just plastic. That's just going to sit in the trash for now. Oh, yeah. So first things first, let's get this LCD out before, that's the wrong screw. Let's get this LCD out before it gets damaged by any glass shards. Okay, just getting rid of any traces of glass. So the last thing I want is for glass to scratch up this pristine panel. Alright, I can live with that. Okay. Alright. So, what I need to do here. I'm going to be paranoid about glass shards now for pretty much the rest of the stream, I think. Okay, I know this piece just pops out. Yep, that's just plastic. That can actually go into regular recycling. See if I can pop this out the proper way. Why am I literally leaning on the glass like an idiot? Oh, I got it out the right way. See if I can do this the right way now. Apple and their weird sideways screws. This isn't even the weirdest thing I've ever found in an Apple device. I took apart an iPhone, I forget which version, but they literally have screws that screw into the top of screws below them. I heard you like screws. It's just so unexpected to see that. So there, motherboard again. That came out a lot better. We'll save the magnets. Magnets are always kind of nifty. This one I'll do this way because I don't want to deal with the screws underneath all them shards of broken glass. Perfect. Alright, let's get rid of this. And get rid of that too. So now is there any way to remove this speaker without having to take the batteries out first? I'll give Apple credit on one thing. They know how to put good speakers and good screens in things. That was so close. Alright, I guess I'm just gonna brute force this. You know what? I'm an idiot. That'll help with the adhesive. Should anyway. I keep grabbing there. I'm glad it turns out it's not all that sharp. Because if it was, I'd have cut myself already. Ugh. Clearly banged up my knuckles a bit, because boy, this alcohol stings on my knuckles. That's fine, just means they're getting nice and sterile. Oh, that helped a lot. And the alcohol under there should presumably help keep the adhesive kind of unstuck, hopefully. Oh, I'm about to lose that. Oh yeah, this is working a lot better than the other one. Yeah, this is going to come up a lot easier than the last one. Although, on the other hand, it's I'm kind of overdoing it with these fingers here, and it's a bit rough. I should go a little easy. Oh, all right. Do I? All right. That's the way to do that. All right. I'm just going to set them aside. yeah, the alcohol was definitely a wise choice. Alright. A little wrinkly there, but it'll do. Again, I'll save that part. Oh, let's see. Can I grab this safely? Oh my goodness, it really sticks. Alright, so let's secure this so I can take it to recycling without having to worry about the glass. Alright. I'm good with that. Okay. That is 2 disassembled iPads. Now for the next step. I think the way this works is I take these out. Okay. Okay. I will be right back. There. Perfect. Huh. So it's just double-sided tape. Alright. I mean, it works. I'll be right back. Ow. do they expect the tabs to be cut off? Interesting. That's really interesting. Yeah, there's no way that fits without cutting at least one tab off. I'm actually going to look up the actual part here. So, like I said, I got these from AliExpress. Okay. Oh, really? Of course they did that. Alright, I guess I'm using my phone. Let's see. Alright, so well, I suppose that's good to note. Alright, that arrow actually makes sense now, so that's good. That's the only instructions they give. So, figured out, that's how it works. So rather than cutting anything, I'm going to bend these two tabs on the side over, like guess this one too. The reason for that is because it don't fit in the thing otherwise. Now it fits. Hydration time. So they're clearly going with the extra permanent route of double-sided tape. What the? Oh, that is sticky. They just used two different kinds of double-sided tape. These are black, that is clear. You know, as one does. Okay. I mean, hey, whatever works, right? Good question. What is up? Well, oh, that's another important thing. So I'm going to be butting these two monitors side to side, meaning I need the controls to go out opposite sides. So I will make one of these monitors with the LCD in one orientation and the other in the other. So I'm going to make this one. This one will be made with the cable coming out the bottom with oh, this is really kind of awkward. Looks like we have another tab we need to bend. So lining up the screen with the bezel kind of proved to be alright, so I am happy with that. So they included all this foam, I presume, presume that this is meant to of course it still touches. Go figure. Guess it's gotta go all the way to the edge. Not quite, because that needs to. Oh, come on. All right. Okay, so this really, this is the bag o' screws. I'm going to employ the magnets. Oh my, they're going everywhere. Well, I hope they just gave us lots of extras, because that seems like a lot of screws. Alright. What did they give us? Aside from all of the screws. Looks like they gave us some kind of tape, presumably for securing the board. Oh, you know what? I'm going to insulate the board. unnecessary that is, but I'm just going to do it. I mean, there's got to be a reason they gave this fiber backed tape. Don't like this. All right, I'm rolling with that. There are screws everywhere. Okay. So I'll say this much. As simple as these monitors are, they do look a little more professional than the one I made. As you can see, mine's just layers of plastic with spaces cut out of the middle. And it works. And I will continue using it. but I want one to mirror this at my desk over there. So that's the plan. I have some HDMI splitters that I hope will work properly. And I'm just gonna duplicate the output from this screen over to the desk. And if you're not familiar with the music playing, I don't know if that even comes through clearly or not, but that's Kerbal Space Program music, which was created by Kevin MacLeod. And those are available basically as royalty-free tracks, so that's why I'm playing it. Oh. Alright, so yeah, I keep finding glass. These screws, I'm not gonna lie, they seem almost more like a suggestion than a fastener. But, you know, it's not the screw's fault, it's the incredibly cheap material this is made from. I don't know if it's plastic or painted aluminum, and I think the fact that I don't know the answer to that is about all you need to know about the quality of this material. But for comparison, this is made from a Gamestop sign backing. It's literally like polystyrene. I cut the pieces out with an X-Acto knife, so I really can't say a whole lot. I'm fairly certain this is aluminum because I can see that it's bent and that there are standoffs pressed into it. It's cheap aluminum. I mean, I'll be honest there. It is the cheapest of aluminum. There are no insert. Oh my goodness! There are no inserts of any kind. These screws are literally just threading into the aluminum itself. So I am not tightening them very hard. When I feel any resistance, I stop, because if I go further, I will strip these out. Plain and simple. Looks like I got just 2 more left here. Boy, they don't joke around with throwing in all the extra screws. Oh, I am definitely cutting these threads. Yeah, there's no doubt there. If I gave that a quarter turn more, I'd cut them clean away. Alright. That's one done. It's got 75mm VESA mounts, and that's how I will mount these. Oh, I just realized the top bezel isn't symmetrical. That's so annoying. Oh, hello. This is a former iPad. This is also a former iPad. So what these are is salvaged iPad screens, and I actually have one, or actually a pair of them set up already. So this is my workbench monitor. I made it with some driver boards and some sign backing panels from a closed Gamestop, and it's literally just I don't know if this can be seen well, but it's layers with hollow spaces cut out. I literally cut these panels out with an X-Acto knife, screwed everything together in layers, and made myself this sliding, rotating, tilting workbench monitor. Oh my gosh, the bits don't like that. So I've actually got another one here because I took apart 2 iPads, so you get to see the bagging. So what these are, they are dedicated controller boards, or not controller boards, driver boards that were ordered from AliExpress. They take USB-C or Thunderbolt or mini HDMI. I hate mini HDMI, but the point oh, that's kind of crumpled. I hope that's all right. Well, we'll see if it works. If not, I will have to get another flat flex. But yeah, so where did I put that other panel? Here it is. So this is another salvaged iPad panel, and as you can see, this is the flat flex. Well, it interfaces with this board here, which connects there, and that's what provides the signal for it. So this one is done. Give me a moment, and I'm gonna see if I can. Really? That cord is that short? Alright. Might grab a longer cord here. Will it power on? I've got an LED. I don't know if it'll power on with the amount of power I've got available here. Let me grab a longer cable and a more powerful brick here. I'll be right back. Oh, actually, let's see. Just catching up on what you said here. Alright, cool. Cool. Alright. So yeah, one of my big ongoing projects is trying to build a Kerbal Space Program control panel into my desk. That's that's been a project. Last week and the week before I made this. These are adapter boards, and this is a Retro Chip Tester Pro. The idea is you can drop a chip into the socket, lock it, test it, and it'll tell you whether it works or not. This thing can also dump ROMs. It can write EPROMs. That's actually what all these boards here are for. They have extra power supplies to make them compatible with different types of EPROMs. This is a 30-pin memory tester. This is a Commodore 64 cartridge adapter. Let's see. Okay, that's tempting. I know a friend who took a massage chair motor and built a driver that would let him control his the motor with his PlayStation 1 controllers back in, like, oh gosh, this was like probably 98, 99-ish. So he actually had a car seat with a recliner massage motor connected into his PS1 controllers. He had a steering wheel set up, and he had this whole framework. So he basically had like a driver's seat set up for Gran Turismo, like the original Gran Turismo on the PS1, which is pretty cool. You mention it, and you're not even the first person to mention it. I have not made any plans for like any kind of force feedback kind of stuff, but you know, the thought's there, and it's always something that could be added later. I actually have a car seat as my computer chair. I built the original frame in like 1999 at the same time that one buddy built the kind of cockpit setup. I scrapped a car then. He got the driver's seat, I got the passenger seat. So we kind of both made proto gaming chairs back then. It was kind of neat. I don't know if anyone was really doing that back in '99, but I might not have been the first person to do it, but it's definitely the first time I'd experienced it. And let me tell you, a real car seat is way better quality than most gaming chairs. So let me grab that cord and power brick. I'll be right back. Alright. Let's see if I can make this work. Hey, thanks. So, I'm gonna drop something here, if I can get this to work. Hey, boy, I hope this works. Where's my plug? There's my plug. So this one is marked power, so... Alright, I'm gonna steal the HDMI. My computer's probably not gonna like this. And there goes my signal. Oh, come on. I've got tangled cords here. Had to steal my HDMI signal there. Alright. Here's hoping this works. I hope it works. All right. Just get power there. So, I've never used this style converter board before, but I don't like that. I don't like that. I think something's not right. But let's try this a different way. Okay, so oh, okay, I know exactly what's wrong. I didn't put the cord all the way in. I put it there, and I thought that was it. Alright. That's simple enough, but... oh, I gotta take all them screws out now. Well, I mean, that's a relief. That's better than it just not working. But let's give this one a test anyway. Make sure it actually is working. Okay. It better be working. Ah, here we go. Here we go. Alright, so that definitely means... oh, alright. The bottom is not the side with the cable. Alright. Oh, that's loud. Hold up here. Audio. Yeah, that's really loud. Also apparently in mirror mode. I don't want that. But it is working, so that's good. Just need to Here we go. There we go. That looks much better. Oh, no, I see it here. Alright, so... Oh. If you can figure out the circuit, let's see. Let me get a new tab here. I'm just loading something up here. Alright, so getting back to what you said. So I guess with figuring out power, that one's usually pretty simple. A lot of devices will have like a ground plane, or they'll have capacitors kind of for basically like power smoothing, decoupling caps, filter caps, that sort of thing. And if you can find any polarized capacitor in the circuit, almost guaranteed right there is your power rails connected to the positive and negative of that. Oh, yeah, if you got a GitHub, I mean, that's covering everything, and you're pretty set. Oh, I gotta fix these displays. They are flipped. There we go. Oh, that's much better. My mouse is going where I expect it to. As far as like signaling and stuff, if you've got something like an oscilloscope, it's just kind of a matter of probing things and seeing, what happens. It's kind of the easiest way. If you don't, even something like a simple multimeter, you should be able to probe things fairly readily. Let's see. Alright, so hopefully that shows up. That is my desk that I have built. Trying to get this centered in the camera here. So I built that last summer. It's made from red oak, and that console in the center, that is the chassis of a Harris Stereo 5 mixing console that came from the local AM radio station. And long story short, that's going to be my Kerbal Space Program controller. Let's see. think I've got another picture here. Kind of, yeah, here. Pre-staining. Let's see. I'm used to touch screens here. So you can kind of see the detail here. Oh, what happened? Oh, I hit my Windows key, that's what happened. Alright, so this is what the console will more or less look like. Honestly, if you want to follow a lot of my stuff, probably the most surefire way to follow it is, let's see. Just grabbing a link here. So that's the link to my probably the most frequented online space. Oh, I'm literally pointing a mouse at my stream monitor, and I'm realizing you can't see that. So, are you talking about this here? As in sheet metal? So basically what that is, back in 2007, actually I can show you exactly what that stuff is because I got it right over here. In 2007, oh gosh. Oh man. Hopefully you'll be able to see the texture. I don't know how well that texture shows up, but it's basically kind of it's aluminum with a thin layer of plastic bonded to it, and then that plastic layer, it kind of has a texture pattern into it. It actually really kind of reminds me of the texture of leather, but like I said, it's plastic. So those came off some 1960s test equipment. I have a lot of those panels because I have a stack of those machines. Basically, it's, you know, your standard 19-inch rack device. It's about that tall, and I have a stack of them that's almost as tall as I am. Yeah, it's quite a read, and it's been over quite a few years. So it's been slow going, but you know, eventually I'm hoping to get there. So let's see. So yeah, you can kind of see. Yeah, I gave you the link to the website so you can kind of see all the build details. But yeah, I'm gonna disconnect this because I know that one works. And I'm pretty sure I know... Oh my god, why? Alright, just getting my monitors re-situated. Alright. Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, before I work on this one, I'm actually going to try to get this one figured out. And of course that means I gotta undo all these screws. I feel like I didn't push the flat flex cable in nearly as far as I did on that one. I think it gave me more resistance than I was expecting it to. And so, yeah, I think the flat flex is just not plugged in all the way. These screws aren't even the same length. This whole pile of screws, they're not even all the same length. There's a few there just slightly longer. So yeah, what I took apart was 4th gen iPads. Both the 3rd gen and the 4th gen iPad were, I think, the first ones to have a Retina display. So even though it's a 9.7 inch screen, it's like 2048 by 1536 pixels. So it's a pretty good display. And you can just buy adapter boards that'll take HDMI, VGA, USB-C, or Thunderbolt, various combinations, and just output it to one of these iPad screens. And then the iPad, as long as you can get the front digitizer glass off, the iPad, or the LCD inside is just screwed down with 4 screws, so it comes out really easily. You remove the flat flex from its socket, and you're good to go. So it's kind of a neat little way to reuse these things. The one I built for my workbench here, the reason that I built it, it's maybe not quite obvious. I'll point it out. This here is a light. I've also got a light up underneath here. But I've only got about 12 inches or about 30 centimeters of depth between a second shelf that's kind of right here in front of me and my main workspace. And the height of that isn't all that high. It's basically... I've got basically a 7-inch gap, maybe like around, what is that, 17, 18 centimeters? Which is fine for working on small things like this or circuit boards. But when I want to work on much bigger things, it's a very limited space. But I've got a desk literally next to this workbench, and I'm trying to get that set up to where I have lighting, a camera. But the other thing I want is to mirror these monitors. So the reason I built these monitors the way I did is I wanted something that was very fine detail and that I could have right in front of my face. So when I slide this in front of me, like this is, I mean, about that far away, so about, what is that, 10 inches away from me. So I can see very small details up close. So if I say open up a schematic or some kind of, diagram, I can get those details right there in front of me. But what's more important is the bottom edge of this monitor does not obscure my view of the main workbench. I can see everything from my line of sight. I can actually see the back edge of the workbench at this height of the monitor. And so this gives me literally, like, there's two panels side by side. I'm only running one of them right now because I'm literally running this off of a garbage dual-core 3rd Gen i5 tablet. So I've only got one HDMI out. But if I had both going, I'm currently building a PC. It's used parts, but, it's a lot better. It's a 10th Gen i9 with a Radeon 7 with 16 gigs VRAM, 64 gig system RAM, and a pair of 2 terabyte NVMe's. But anyway, the point is, once I have that all set up and done, this is the other fun thing. This is cable chain. You can run cables through this and it keeps them flexing in a very predictable, smooth pattern. I'm going to run the HDMI cables and the power to these monitors using cable chain. That way I'll be able to slide this thing side to side and the cables will be out of my way, which is awesome. But anyway, the whole point of this was I wanted a wide, not very tall screen that was very, very easy to kind of see underneath of. But I wanted that high resolution detail too. Alright, let's see. Let's hope this is all that's wrong here. Oh, please be all that's wrong. Oh yeah, that just fell out. There we go. That's more like it. Yeah, that's exactly what was wrong. I just didn't put the cable in far enough. So I'm just gonna put a few screws in to secure everything. But before I put all of them in, I am gonna test it. Sometimes you just gotta make a mistake here or there. This is fortunately one that I don't think will do any damage. I hope. Yeah, cable chain is the ultimate in cable management. But yeah, the long-term goal there is just, I want to be able to have 4,096 by 1536 pixels in a screen that's barely bigger than this. Alright, so I got corners in. Gotta pull the HDMI out again. Oh, yeah. My area is getting fiber installed, and that will be a very nice upgrade from I think I get about 6 megabits upload. That's it. Alright, let's see if this works. Oh, that's a good sign. Alright. I'm upside down. But that's actually okay, because when I build this, I'm going to be putting them side to side. So I need the controls to be on one side for one and the other for the other. And that means that I do need one of these screens to be mounted upside down. Yeah, go ahead. That's fine. Alright. Alright, so where was my mouse? Oh, that is confusing. Suppose while I'm at it, one of the other nice things about my desk that I built is that yes, I'm using a mouse upside down. The two sides are completely independent of each other. I built them in such a way that they stand fully independently. I can move each of these sides on my own. Furthermore, there's basically, where is it? There's basically a cross frame that connects the two sides. Then there's also a top shelf that connects the two sides. So it works out pretty well. Every single piece of the desk can be carried by a single person. The top shelf can be handled by one person. The two side units can be handled by one person. The keyboard tray obviously can be handled by one person. And the cross frame can be handled by one person. Thanks. Alright, so let's take a look at this link. And I no longer know how to use a mouse right side up. How about that? Alright. Okay. So, do you have a multimeter at all? I guess I ask. It's always, you know, until you learn more. Okay, cool. So yeah, as far as power goes, you should be able to, you know, probe whatever your, you know, power connections are. So let's see. Trying to skim over what you typed here. Let's see. Oh, okay, I see you mentioned the multimeter before. Oh, jeez. Alright. Let's see. Alright. Okay, that explains a few things. Okay. Okay. Alright. Alright. So, I guess a little clarification. What exactly you're trying to do with these then? I see the light that those run on 24 volts. And then let's see. I should Alright, before I continue, I'm gonna verify. I've already forgotten which side the cable is on this, because I need it to be the opposite on the other one. So oh. Alright, so this one, the cable on the LCD is here. I'm actually going to mark, just grab a little piece of tape here to mark that, because I need to remember which side it's on here, because I need to do the opposite on the other side. So that will just tell me which side the cable is on. So when I do the other one, let's see. That screw is already stripped. Yeah, these things don't exactly instill confidence, so I'm just finger tightening them and calling them good. I wasn't entirely sure if the case on this thing was plastic or metal until I saw some things that were kind of sure signs of it being metal, and then I realized it was really cheap metal. Oh, okay. I guess it depends on, I guess, what fried. Those look like some kind of possibly addressable LEDs. I'm guessing they're addressable LEDs. I guess if one of them actually fried, it could potentially block the communication chain. Basically, the way most of those tend to work is you have data in. You basically have your positive and ground, your data in and your data out. That's how most of those are usually set up. So I guess if you blew one near the input, if you can take that data input and send it, like skip the bad one, send it to the next one over, that might get you going again. If you can communicate with them, then obviously that suggests something's still, working, I suppose. If you can't communicate with them, that's a good sign that something meant to communicate's dead. But generally, a lot of times at those lights, the microcontroller is only going to have like one output per, grouping of lights, right? Oh dear. I don't know if that was clear. The earphone jack wasn't in the hole, it was kind of jammed up, so I had to kind of pop it into place. Okay, so yeah, I'd consider, that avenue. I love the fact that I'm screwing this together while it's on. Like, I've fixed it. It works now. No need to turn it off. I'm good. I'm glad this works though. It was a stupid, simple, easy to miss thing. So yeah, like I said, all that was wrong with this display. Okay. Oh. That's a possibility. If the power supply itself doesn't have good short circuit protection, it could also be the power supply. So what I would maybe do is use that multimeter to read basically the power supply side of the cable if you're able to. If that has power but the end doesn't, then it's definitely the cable. If you don't have power at the power supply itself though, then it's possible the power supply could be taken out too. Alright, so I'm slightly annoyed by this. The bottom bezel is about 10 millimeters The top one is 13. And I have to flip the other display because the plugs come out the sides. So I'm gonna have a 3mm lip if I want the screens to align properly. Unless I can get the screen to internally sit 3mm high, which I might be able to do. We'll see. At 24 volts, there's not a lot of risk. The main risk could be if you're opening up power supply and you have the high voltage side. That's something, if you don't have the experience, I'd probably say skip it. Because there's always, potential for, danger there. I've been shocked more times than I care to admit. I've been shocked by 120 volts. I've been shocked by 208 volts, 3-phase. That one was particularly nasty. Megahertz, 32-bit, absolutely ancient thing. And it was one of those all-in-one models where I had the screen and the computer built into one case. A little wider. So the monitor, okay. Oh, why did my keyboard do that? Alright, so here we go. Thumbnail? Please? Alright, that's a terribly small picture, but that's the Performa 550. And as you can see from the back, it has this kind of ridge here. So the way I would always move this machine is I'd put the monitor up to my body and then I'd grab this ridge. Well, the flyback transformer is right there, and I was realigning the CRT and I needed to move the machine, and I grabbed right there without thinking underneath that ridge, except the case wasn't there and the ridge was the bottom of the flyback transformer, and I'm drifting off camera. Sorry about that. Oops. When these two fingers touched the bottom of that transformer, I lost the ability to see color for about 20 seconds. I didn't pass out, but I think I came pretty close to it. And when I sat down and looked at my fingers, it looked like I had 2 pimples on the fingers. They had this white point at the end. And what it was ash. It was ash from the electricity that had done that trip. If that had gone anywhere through my body, that'd be it. That was the worst shock I've ever experienced. So be safe when you mess with electronics. My recommendation is learn first, get accustomed to low voltage things. And if you want to move on to higher voltage stuff, do so when you have more experience. So that's kind of my take on it. Because high voltage will kick your butt if you're lucky. Yeah, I've done a few dumb things. But you'll learn, provided you survive. So Let's see what the menu looks like. Oh. You can go brighter yet. Okay, that almost washes it out. That actually works pretty well at 50%. That's surprisingly, yeah, that works. Yeah, this is getting turned down. That was loud when that speaker first kicked in. I'll do 25%. Alright. Alright, I'm pretty happy with that. The monitor works. But yeah, 24 volts, like 24 volts DC running some LEDs. That's a pretty safe voltage. As long as you're not like poking around, you know, the high voltage side of a power supply, you're pretty much fine. More or less at 24 volts, the worst you're probably gonna do is smoke the power supply, you know, or your device. So, alright, so this one, I'm just going to leave the tape on the top to mark that that's the orientation we want for that. Man, how did my screen get so filthy already? There's one thing I don't like about this particular screen. When I did mine, I actually put a piece of plexiglass in front of the LCDs. This is just fully exposed. Alright, well, thank you. Let's see. So I want this orientation, because the plugs are on this side. That way I'll be able to butt these two adjacent like that and run them dual screen mode. So that's kind of the whole purpose of having two of them. I don't know if you can see that. There is a slight mismatch in the... That's so annoying. I'm gonna notice that from now on. The fact that there's a 3mm misalignment of the bezels. That's so annoying. I wish they would have just made it symmetrical. Just add 3mm and call it a day. But nope. So I'm gonna have to... Let's see. There is a little bit of space. I can probably shove the LCD all the way down, basically. Okay, I think this is the correct orientation too, because because the cable's here at the bottom, and then this one. So yeah, this is already set up the right way, I think. I'm so confused. I'm gonna plug it in. Right. Okay. Oh, and this one, the earphone is... Alright. careful where I set this. I don't want to... No, that's upside down. What? I'm so confused. Why? Okay. My brain is breaking. Alright, so... Oh, that cable stop misbehaving. Okay, so cables on that side, image upright. Cables on this side. Image upright. Alright, so. Did I put the tape on the wrong side? I am so confused. Well, is what it is. I'm going to disconnect this. That can be put away. So I got to remember it all goes together like that. Maybe I should put it together with it powered up. At least then I'll know I'm putting it together the right way. Okay. I cannot believe how many screws they gave with this kit. Like, there's 3 screws on each of the sides and 4 on the top and the bottoms. So, you know, that's 14, is it? 8 and 8? Or 4, that's 8. 6. Yeah, that's 14. So, someone said, how many screws do you need? And they said yes. Oh, that there. I was wondering why it wouldn't come loose. All right. So one thing I noted is that these tabs where you normally screw the LCD down, they do have to be bent up for it to fit in this case. that's fine. Alright, so yeah, right. Alright, so now they did the same thing. I wonder if there's a reason for it. So this double-sided tape, I am betting will be clear. I notice it's got a different backing. And sure enough, it's the clear stuff. So why then will these be black tape? Yep, it's black tape. I wonder why they do that. You know what? I just realized, and it's so dumb. This is narrower tape and this is wider. That's just what they have on hand. Amazing. I've solved the mystery of the tape. Okay. This is the hard part. Getting things aligned the way I want them to be. Okay. I'm going to leave a little bit of border exposed. So basically what I did was the thick bezel is down here. The thick bezel of the case is on the other side. So this one is the flipped one. But I left a tiny bit of the edge off the LCD exposed. Just kind of shift it down a bit to try to minimize that mismatch. At least that's the goal. Alright, so now okay. Alright. Very, very close to having this one done, I think. We've got the orientation. I'm 90% sure it's right. I will power it on before I screw it all together. Yeah, you missed the iPad disassembly. Only one of them exploded. And by that I mean glass everywhere. Alright. That's not correct. It's this way. Of course it's this way. It has to be the way that's awkward. Alright, so this has to go in quite a ways to engage properly. There we go. I mean, I have glasses. Why am I grabbing the electric tape? I've got this fancy fiber tape that came with the screen. I should probably use it. Just curious, can you hear the music I have playing in the background? I got it kind of quiet, but I don't know how it sounds. Alright, cool. So yeah, just, you know, Kerbal Space Program music. It's all license-free stuff by Kevin MacLeod. Because I don't like DMCAs. Oh, interesting. Okay, I think that, yeah, that shouldn't interfere. I just noticed the bent over tabs, they kind of are near the edge here, and I was curious if they interfered, but it doesn't look like they bend far enough down to do so. So I think we're all good. I don't like that there. I will do that. Alright. Do they intend for two of these to be? I don't know. I'm gonna... Oh, of course it's fitting awkwardly. Why wouldn't it? Alright. liking that. These are definitely too thick to be going on double layer, but I'm also noticing they don't do a thing. Yes, you are correct. Like I said, I don't have my proper rig set up, so I'm not even using OBS. I am just streaming directly from a recycled iPhone 6S. No joke. And I just realized I'm catching... Yeah, I'm literally just streaming through a phone right now. Alright, I'm going to put a couple screws in just to stabilize everything. I am so bummed out about the fate of Kerbal Space Program 2. But I kind of knew Take-Two would absolutely ruin things. It's so annoying. Okay, that's looking good. That's upright. Okay, that's good. So, that's plugged in on the right side, and if I take this one, everything plugged in on the left side. Upright. Perfect. Alright. This is how I want it. So I'm going to disconnect these. I'm actually going to put that aside and reconnect my workbench monitor. I'm very happy with this outcome. What's going... Oh, Kerbal Space Program. Take-Two just nuked the second studio that was working on it. The first time they nuked a studio, they basically... the studio was operating more or less independently, but Kerbal Space Program 2 was really their only contract that they were working on. So Take-Two basically pulled the contract out from under them, which basically left them with years into a project that they now no longer had rights to work on. And that pretty much closed their doors immediately. Take-Two just so happened to set up a new developer that was under their control, and they offered, a lot of those people jobs there. Well, now cue a few more years later, and they've just simply shut that down. They basically let go, I believe it was around 70 or so people. So right now, as far as anyone is aware, there is no developer for Kerbal Space Program 2. It is stalled, and it's very likely that Take-Two probably doesn't see it as being all that profitable. They got most of their initial sales with the early access when they launched it broken. And believe me, when I say when they launched it broken, they launched it broken. I watched professional KSP players be unable to launch ships, to get orbits, to do rendezvous, to land on the moon. The game was broken. And even after some of those initial problems were fixed, it's pretty clear that the dev team they did not get, I guess you could call it, the spirit of Kerbal Space Program. They dismissed certain things as just unnecessary or overcomplicated. Well, here's the thing. If you're playing Kerbal Space Program, you're not doing it because you want a simplified game experience, I'm sorry, but Kerbal Space Program is literally rocket science the game. We expect it to be hard. We don't want things dumbed down. You can give us tools to make things easier. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with, I play my game with MechJeb. I have a flight computer with me. The stock game doesn't come with that. You're pretty much flying by the seat of your pants, which is incredible, don't get me wrong. And I'm pretty good at even that stuff. But there's sometimes that you just want a flight computer. There are some things that are just mundane that you don't want to deal with the minutia of, and it's easier to just plug it into a flight computer. But anyway, Kerbal Space Program 2 is effectively permanently unfinished, with no evidence that anyone can see that Take-Two is going to have anyone else continue working on it. And of course, because Take-Two bought it from the original developer squad, they now own the IP, and let's be honest, we know what this means. Kerbal Space Program is pretty much going to be stuck in IP purgatory. Take-Two owns it, and they're probably not going to do a thing with it. And that makes me so mad. KSP2 has a lot of stuff that was promised and is probably never going to be finished. I really don't see them pulling together a third developer to work on it. I really don't. Why'd that stop? Because it's not set to loop. Why did that not work? Weird. Well, whatever. It's fixed. But yeah, so KSP2 is pretty much probably toast. And KSP1 already has had development ended on it. So what we've got is where it sits. That's not a terrible thing, because it's in pretty good shape. Modded KSP1 probably can outdo anything KSP2 can do. And KSP1 is DRM free. So I'm not too worried about the future of Kerbal Space Program overall. There will always be that game out there. But future development is pretty much ruined at this point. I don't see any real future with Take-Two doing anything with it that's meaningful or positive. Which really bums me out, but that's just reality. But like I said, at least KSP1 is still around. It's not going anywhere, and it's got a pretty good modding community. Alright. Are you kidding me? I thought I double checked that. So apparently I still, that one's stripped out. Alright, so that's better. Alright, so I've already tested both of them. I know they work. Alright, well, hey, you have a good night or day wherever you're at. Yeah, hopefully I catch you again. So I don't have too solid of a schedule set up. I've usually been streaming Saturdays, but I slept through Saturday. I was working on projects Saturday morning, and I ended up pretty much not sleeping Friday night, working Saturday morning, and then crashing through the rest of Saturday. So, didn't really get that done. I don't know, maybe Sundays work better. I think one time I streamed during the week. So yeah, I do apologize I don't have a solid schedule. It's more kind of whenever I have time for the project of the day. Do you have a few minutes before you go? This is one of my favorite toys. Gotta find the parts I need. So, this is a lead bender. I picked this up a couple years back. It was one of those on a whim purchases. Large tape and reel like this, or actual big reels. I've got a reel about this big around with 9,000 diodes. One of these days, I'm going to eliminate that reel. So, let's see. What I'm doing with these, I need to grab something here. So I mentioned the Kerbal Space Program thing. This is my disky, my digital readout. And you said you saw my YouTube channel. There should be a video of this kind of under test. So it kind of works, except it also kind of doesn't, because the diode ROMs that I built for it, let's see, as you can see, the resistors. So when I built this, I didn't consider the resistors. I was just going to put one resistor on the common here for the diode ROM. And I realized that some digits have more segments lit than others. So if I had just one resistor feeding everything, the brightness was going to vary based on which digit was showing. So I soldered a bunch of, and it's hard to see, but I soldered a bunch of tiny surface mount resistors between the pad and the socket. Well, if you notice here, an entire row of them broke off. They're just ceramic and they're very fragile. And I realized it was a mistake to use ceramic resistors like that, in that manner. It's not long-term stable. Any shock, any vibration, as you can see, can crack the entire row of them. And that's exactly what happened. Exactly, too brittle. So I'm going to redo those resistors. Those are all 82 ohm resistors. And these here are also 82 ohm resistors. I should be able to verify that. Ooh, that battery's getting low. So, 80. So yeah, it's about 82 ohm resistor, give or take. Oh, why did I unplug that? Give or take a few. You know, there's tolerance variance there, but yeah. So that's what these all are. And let's see. Trying to remember how to configure this for a straight cut. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm trying to remember here how to do this step. I want to increase the gap. So I don't want a tight bend. I want about as wide a bend as I can get here. All right, so let's see how. Okay, it would help if they'd line up. All right. So it's all right. I'm thinking I might solder them at this angle so there's not, you know, a straight line, so they actually have a little bit of a give. And then I'll just have the two rows mount kind of like this. So the base will solder like that, and then the pins for the diode ROMs will solder then on the top. At least that's what I'm thinking here. Honestly, I feel like there is supposed to be a way I could set this up to do a straight cut. Can't remember. Whoa. All right. So, before you leave, I'm just gonna run a couple hundred of these through here, just for fun. Gotta cut them anyway, so why not? I should be smart about this. Where? I'm gonna be smart this time. I've got bins under here to catch them. Alright, so hopefully that engages. How's that? Oh, we got a bit of a misalignment here. Come on now. These pins are so light. Sometimes they skip. Apparently sometimes they get jammed too. This thing really works nicely though, more than anything else, with heavier leads. Ah, doesn't that sound awesome? So yeah, look at that. That's not too bad. So I want to say feel like there's some way to get it to not do the bend, and I can't remember how. Might have to look up the manual here or something. But yeah, so okay. Is that? Oh, that's very loose. Let's see if I can tighten this. So I kind of like running this thing at the end of a stream. It's kind of nice. So it's really fun to use. It really honestly is. Like this is ridiculously fun. Alright, you have a great night too. Yep, glad you enjoyed the little lead cutting bending adventure here. So I think I'll probably call that there. Alright, good night. Oh my goodness. That's a lot of lead. Alright. Oh. Oh. Oh dear. Well, that's gonna have to get dealt with. Haven't used this in a while. And I see it's got the crusties. Oh my gosh. If I can get the thing open. Well, that's something I'm gonna have to resolve. Oh. Wow. Jeez, that is nasty. What on earth? It warped the plastic label? Alright, well, I'm gonna have to clean this thing out, I guess. That's unfortunate. Just gonna make a label for the drawer, but I guess that's not happening tonight. Remember, don't leave batteries in your things. Man, that... I've noticed the these Riovac high energy, they have a good amount of power, but they definitely don't have shelf life. They're great if you need a battery with a lot of power. I think they're easily almost as good as Duracells, in my opinion, but they don't have shelf life. If you need something with shelf life, I actually find the regular Rayovacs are pretty decent. And I never buy Duracells or Energizers. They're so ridiculously expensive, it's not reasonable. I'll buy like 24 packs of the Rayovacs, the regular ones, and it costs a fraction. So... yeah. Honestly, I'd prefer if stuff like this just plugged in. I'm still shaking out battery crystals that's that. I can tell how many times I've tried to open it by sliding it, but it hinges. And I never noticed that right away, and I always forget. Alright, that ought to be enough diodes to redo the disky resistors. So I bought 1,000 of these because, you know, they're cheap, and with part discounts they end up being much cheaper when you get them in quantity. So, like I said, I ordered 1,000 of them. I ordered 1,000 of them. Yeah, I got these from a surplus supplier. I got them because I knew I needed plenty of them, because I use them for LEDs. Use them all over my, you know, in the different instruments and in the panels. So I have plans to use a lot of them. So I bought 1,000. And I bought 1,000 again, because I forgot I bought them. Oops. Well, anyway. Yeah, that's one of them. So, bunch of 82 ohm resistors that I can save for later for the disky rebuild. Yes, I do have empty bags. Oh, come on now. You can write. Really? Alright. Put them in the bag because without a label I'm going to lose this drawer if I put it back in the shelf. But at the same time I don't want to, you know, lose them all that way either. So, just being a little proactive here. So, alright. So that is 2 LCD monitors made with iPads. The inputs and controls are at opposite sides. One of the screens is flipped so that they both appear upright with the controls on opposite sides. The screen is already filthy. I'm gonna have to find my microfiber cloth and my cleaning solution and clean them up nicely, I'm going to be driven crazy by the fact that there's a 3mm difference between these bezels. And I couldn't help it because I needed the controls at the opposite sides. I will notice that forever. It's not terrible, but I'll notice it. I could, of course, mount. Could, of course, mount them like that, which would be even more noticeable. I did shift one of the LCDs up or down, whichever way, to kind of make it less prominent, so it shouldn't be too bad. So then next steps will be, I need to basically make a VESA mount for these, and that's going to basically be 2 rails. These will screw in to the rails, and then I'll have mounts in the center that'll go to a monitor arm. So that'll handle that. Then at the computer, I'll have these 2 HDMI splitters. So the computer will go into these 2, and then the output of these 2, one will go to these panels, the other outputs will go to this panel. That way, I will be able to have the same content mirrored at my workbench or over at my desk next to the workbench. And that will help me to be able to work with a larger, more open workspace. Because this is the big problem right now with this area. I can work on small stuff like this, no problem. The issue comes up when I want to work on something big, Like, even this thing is a little unwieldy here. I'd honestly like to find a permanent place to mount that thing too. So, we'll see what happens. How do I want to do this? There. So yeah, pair of iPad LCDs completed. I mean, mounting still has to be done, but that's for future me to deal with. I think I got all the screws. Yep. So, yeah, I was just, they felt a little flimsy, and that's just because they're a little flimsy. But, they'll work. Still a bit more sturdy than polystyrene sandwich construction. So, I'm trying to think here, what other projects? So, so one of my projects that I really need to pick up again, where did I put it? I have no idea where it is. I guess I'm not showing that one off. One of my meters for the Kerbal Space Program controller needs to be finished, and I got so close to finishing it, and a bunch of stuff happened and never got around to finishing it. So that's kind of another area where I need to pick up. Although next time may be a work stream, so I may just sit here soldering Hall effect commutator boards for work. Those go into a medical centrifuge, I believe. And I usually just chat while I do that stuff. So, But yeah, I think I'm going to call this one a night. So, good night.